did some cleaning. Actually, I did clean, but then I spray painted the table just to freshen it up again. It's chemically stained, so there was no getting that out of there. I found this while cleaning. 14 karat chain, 10.57 grams. So I am gonna use my funny looking silver from the last video, which looks a lot like it's imported gold. Go ahead and get this imported, melt it into shot, and refine it. Go from there. All right, here's our imported gold. I did add a couple grams extra in case there was gold, which I believe there is in that silver, to hopefully get us down to 6 karat or below. Assuming there's no gold in the silver, best case scenario would be 6.1 grams. So let's see what we come up with. All right, I'm just starting the third nitric boil. I rinsed it out so there was no blue remaining. So I think I've got it pretty clean. I'm going through the Lexan here. I'm gonna try another new thing this time. Once I know I have all the base metals out of here, I'm just gonna melt it into shots and then I'll redissolve it. Whereas normally I'd precipitate it into powder and then redissolve it. Filter, powder, dissolve, filter, melt. That's my normal routine. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and just see what happens. Okay, so I boiled that in nitric again and just the slightest hint of blue came off. I just wanted to see if this is crumbly. Yep, okay. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just soft, breaking apart. So I had heard Three Tips say that at this point it's pretty fine gold. So I'm gonna melt it into shot. Make sure you get all that off the tip there, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and melt this in shot, see what it looks like. I don't know if you can hear me over this or not, but it actually looks pretty good. It is gonna frost over. Well, I didn't doubt him. Three Tips was right though. It's not pure. Actually, that looks awful on the camera, but there we go. I didn't really give it a true fighting chance either using a contaminated dish, but pretty close. And sorry about the camera work here, guys. I think there was some gold in my silver. 7.8 grams. So what I'll do now is actually do an Aqua regia boil, dissolve this all down, filter it. I'm going to precipitate it again, dissolve it again, filter it again, and then I'll have 3 9s plus fine gold. But yeah, Three Tips was right. Once you get down to that brown mud, it's pretty pure. So I thought all the gold had dissolved in here. I don't know if you can tell from that, but there's some bubbling going on. It doesn't appear that it's from, and some of it's from the stir bar, but it doesn't appear the majority, but this is interesting. Look at all that. That's all contaminants that drop out when it's just allowed to sit and boil and settle. So I'm gonna let this go for another 10-15 minutes. Carefully, I'm gonna let it settle and then carefully filter it off. Make sure there isn't undissolved gold in there that ends up in the filter. Okay, here's our nice clean gold. Trying very hard not to drop. I already mixed SMB in here. cool flash. It's clear. Here's our cleaned up gold. Just kind of noting the color on it. It's actually got a nice light brown color to it. So pretty clean, but I'll go ahead and rinse it, boil it in hydrochloric acid, and rinse it several times. Ammonia, rinse it, and then melt it. I was just starting to pour this into a melt dish and forgot I need to record the color. So it might be a slightly lighter brown, but I think it was already pretty clean gold. So we'll go ahead and get this melted. Here's our final little gold button. I melted it in a dish that was already, I knew it was contaminated, but there were a couple little specks in there I wanted to get out. So not worried about that. This one's kind of wild. That is all silver chloride that settled out. I was dissolving it. On top of that, caught a fair amount. It doesn't look as bad as it did earlier, but there's a lot of junk that I caught in the filter. So it was pretty pure, but not as pure as I thought when I melted it in a shot from just directly from mud. But let's see what we got here. Definitely lost some. 6.2. Okay, so I think the best case scenario, absolute best case scenario, would have been 6.4. So yeah, that's normal. It's pretty much what I would expect. Oh, by the way, I said I found that bracelet when I was cleaning. I just said that kind of to rage bait, see if anybody would make a dumb comment. But I found it on Marketplace. So somebody had actually messaged several times over the course of a couple months. I was kind of persistent, but not rude in any way. Just I would say, hey, gold's up a little bit. I'd be at $650 today. I ended up paying $680 for it. But yeah, came out ahead. We're good. All right, thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.